This is music, and this is Judgment Day. So I recently picked this one up, Judgment Day by Lovebites. It's a band I'm fairly new to. I do have In the Beginning, which I bought last year, and I loved every single song on it. So I decided to explore this band's catalog more. I have picked up some of their classics, and I've picked this one up, their most recent album. And I figured it would be fun to do like a series of videos sharing with you my first impressions of these albums. And we'll just call it Bitten By Lovebites, because that's what I called the video where I talked about In the Beginning. So, why not start with the most recent album, Judgment Day? Before talking about the music, let's just have a look at the sort of physical aspect of it for those of you who collect physical music media. Pretty cool cover artwork, wolf, scales of justice, sword, sun, moon, snakes. Obviously there's a theme here. On the back you have a cool band shot. The CD itself is actually pretty cool because you have the same theme, right? You got the sword, the scales of justice, the wolf, the snake. You have, I think, the rays in the background are supposed to represent the sun and the moon as well. The tray card is just a close-up of the sword. On the back of the booklet, you got a close-up of the sun. The booklet itself is fairly standard. So you got some lyrics and you got some band photos. So here you have, for example, Asami, the vocalist. You have Midori, the guitarist. You have some pages just with the lyrics on them. Here you have Miyako, the guitarist and keyboard player. You have a picture of Fami, the new bass player, and last but certainly not least at all, you have the drummer Haruna. They sing in English, by the way. And the version I have is the JPU Records version. And I don't know if this comes with other versions, but the JPU Records version has this note with messages by the band members in Japanese on one side and in English on the other side. So I think it's a pretty cool kind of package for those of you who collect physical music media. Like I said, it's the JPU Records version that I have. The music is the important part, of course. I know that a lot of the members of the Wolf Pack, that's the fan base, they say that Lovebites, they're just a heavy metal band. Don't come here with all your weird subgenres, and that's a fair point. I will say, to my ears, the core style is power metal. So to me, it's a power metal album. Okay, just to my ears, that sounds like the core style. You got 10 songs on here, so it's not too long. Each song is roughly 5 minutes, so each song is not too short either. I really like that balance, actually. The first song is called We Are the Resurrection. Starts out with a super epic opening. You know that you're going on a power metal journey. But then it kicks into a really aggressive main riff. The chorus and the pre-chorus are both super catchy. The bridge even goes into thrash metal territory. And you have some amazing guitar solos too. The vocalist Asami is known for having a mid to low range register, which is already super interesting because you don't hear that style of singing very often in power metal. But she can hit high and intense notes whenever the song calls for it. And she does that in this song, and she does it throughout the album, and it sounds awesome. I grew up listening to Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Halloween, so I do like it when vocalists hit those high notes, and Asami does that when the song calls for it. Towards the end, it turns into an all-out thrash metal affair with a really thrashy riff. So to my ears, We Are the Resurrection is a power thrash song, and I love that song. The next song, Judgment Day, starts out with a really cool bass intro. I like that Fami gets to shine already on her first album with this band. The main riff is awesome. The chorus is killer. You have some really great vocal lines in the bridge as well. They're repeated a bit later on. And you also have Asami hitting some amazing high notes towards the end of this song too. Drumming wise, there's a lot of mommy daddy drumming, but it's peppered with some really cool simple details. So I actually quite like that. The next song is The Spirit Lives On. You got more mommy daddy drumming and cool simple work. You have some really cool vocal melodies in the verse and in the chorus. You got more great guitar work here. To my ears, this is more of a power metal tune with lots of references to Halloween. As far as I understand, the Lovebites ladies, they like throwing in elements that sound like other songs by other artists as kind of love letters to those artists. So there might be something that sounds like something from an Iron Maiden song. There might be something that sounds like something from a Halloween song. And I love that they pay respect to their influences. And I hear a lot of that Halloween wise in this song. So this is a great power metal song. The next song is Wicked Witch. That's more of a galloping heavy metal song. Lots of Iron Maiden-esque parts to this song, which I really appreciate because Maiden is my favorite band. What I think is really cool though is that the verse reminds me a bit more of AOR. It's very mellow, and there's some really cool, that might be my favorite part of this song, some really cool vocals and guitar call response stuff going on in the song, in the verse. I really love that. Fantastic verse there. The chorus is super catchy and super memorable as well. You have some really cool drumming in the bridge, and you have some, I think this is another case of them paying homage to a band, because there's some of the vocal lines in the bridge remind me a bit of Passchendaele by Iron Maiden. So Wicked Witch, just a fantastic heavy metal song. It's followed by Stand and Deliver, Shoot 'Em Down. To my ears, that's an all-out power thrasher. You got an Overkill vibe, you got a Motorhead vibe. I would say you even have a bit of Slave to the Grind vibe. The chorus is amazing, both the way it's delivered, but also the melody line. It's super catchy. You can't help but sing along. And I've caught myself singing the chorus just constantly when doing housework and stuff like that. You even have gang vocals in this song, and you have killer guitar solo. Stand and Deliver, just an amazing power thrasher. It's followed by Victim of Time. That's more of an all-out power metal song too. You have some cool guitar riffs. The verse is a bit more typical power metal-ish, but that doesn't have to mean that it's bad, of course. The chorus lines are just larger than life. They have that Schlager sing-along part. What I really love about Victims of Time though, that's the bridge and also a section towards the end where they turn the song into a power prog song. Yeah, it becomes a progressive metal song in the bridge with odd time signatures, with a vibe that even reminds me a bit of Duke by Genesis. I love that part, and they do something similar towards the end of the song too. That's just, I love that they're like, hey, we can do progressive metal too. So there you go. Love that part. You got lots of neoclassical parts in this song. They're kind of spread out throughout the entire album, but they're particularly prevalent in this song. So Victims of Time, an amazing power metal song that turns into a prog power metal song. The next song is My Orion. That's the least high energy song on the album. It's very melodic. It's very melancholic too. You have some super dynamic drumming in it though. And this is another song that has a bit of an AOR feel to it. And if you pay attention, you'll hear some organs kind of stuff in the background that has a bit of a rainbow or Deep Purple feel to it. The chorus is super catchy too. You can't help but sing along to it. And I noticed this, I think they're doing the Eurovision transposition maneuver towards the end, where you got the chorus and then you repeat it, but you just transpose it up to a higher note. I think it's super funny they did that. But so My Orion, bit of a breather. It's not a ballad, but it's a bit of a breather. It's followed by Lost in the Garden, which opens up with just epic twin guitars, and the twin guitar leads are all over the album too, but they're just particularly prevalent in this very epic opening. This is a song that has more of a happy-go-lucky power metal feel to it, with some really cool vocal melodies, so it's a pretty good song too. It's followed by Dissonance. Now that's an all-out power thrasher too. It's super aggressive. Some of the riffage even sounds like something that you might hear in a death thrash song. So that's how aggressive this song is. There's also a bit of an artillery feel to it, especially Artillery's more recent stuff, and I think that might just be a coincidence because Artillery's more recent stuff is very melodic thrash metal, and this song here is very thrashy power metal. You have killer guitar solos, you have amazing drumming. Dissonance is just an amazing song. And the last song is Soldier Stands Solitarily. It's just an epic, fantastic way to close out the album. It's fast, aggressive, still catchy. Again, you got some amazing, intense, powerful high notes by Asami. You got lots of Halloween references in here too. And it's just an awesome song, a fantastic way to close off the album. So, now, my taste in music, I love traditional heavy metal. I love Iron Maiden. I love Judas Priest. I love all that stuff. I love thrash metal as well. And I love old, early 80s power metal. And I love Rainbow and Deep Purple. I love AOR. And as you can imagine, I really love that I got elements from all of this and more. I got that on this album. I love progressive metal too. So I feel like this album is really spoiling me. It's like opening a box of Quality Street with all my favorite candies in it. So I really love this album. Not a weak song on here. No ballads, which I really appreciate too, because I'm one of those people, right, that the late 80s and especially early 90s kind of hair metal scene, they kind of ruined the power ballad for me. So I appreciate that there's no ballad on here. Anyways, fantastic album. It's hard to pick a highlight song-wise, but I do tend to gravitate towards the more thrashy ones, like We Are the Resurrection, like Judgment Day, like Stand and Deliver, like Dissonance. But I also like the, for example, My Orion. That's a great song. It's a bit different from all the other songs, but I think that's a great song too. And of course, Victim of Time with its power prog bridge. So it's hard to pick a favorite song. One thing that I really, really appreciate about this is that you can have it on in the background and just it energizes you, and you can listen to it mindfully, and then you will notice lots of really cool, just little details spread out across the album. I've already mentioned all of the details in the drumming, but you also have lots of cool keyboard stuff, lots of cool guitar stuff. Just to give you one example, in the beginning of We Are the Resurrection, right after the kind of epic intro, when the song gets a bit heavier, they throw in some funk chords. Yeah, just try and listen. Notice, I really appreciated that. That was so awesome. So lots of cool details. The musicianship on this album, in this band, is just out of this world. It's amazing. I think the highlight musicianship wise is the drumming. Haruna is a fantastic drummer. She's a beast behind the kit. She can do the mommy daddy typical power metal stuff, but she can also throw in lots of details on the cymbals, on the bass drum. She's an amazing drummer. She's a beast, and I love how they kind of make her look like super adorable on this band picture. There's almost like a Tinkerbell kind of a vibe to her pose and all that stuff, and then she's just a beast behind the kit. Amazing drumming by her, really amazing. The lead guitar work is of course also amazing. Midori, Miyako, they're just fantastic musicians. Midori she's a bodybuilder too, so you gotta admire her for picking two activities that, if you want to be good at them, require lots of dedication. So she must have an amazing work ethic too. She must be a fantastic role model, I think. In any case, she's a great guitarist. And you got, like shredding, and you got dive bombs and whammy bar action all over the place in this album, but you also have super melodic and tasty guitar solos, and you got cool trade-offs between the two lead guitarists. My suspicion is that Miyako, I think she has a bit more of an Adrian Smith approach to guitar solos, that they're very melodic, and she writes them, she composes them, and they work very well in contrast with, and I think that's Midori's more shreddy, aggressive, rock and rolly guitar solos. So these two ladies are fantastic guitarists. Asami, her vocal work is out of this world too. I love it when she does her typical like mid-range to low-range singing, but I particularly like it when she hits those high notes. That's just amazing. And that's because I have a weakness for that kind of stuff, right? There are also some really cool vocal harmonies in this album, and the vocal melodies too. They're just Schlager, larger than life, sing-along friendly, amazing stuff. Fami's bass work sounds awesome. You can hear that she's a fantastic bass player too. There's a lot of bottom to the bass tone, so it kind of ties everything together. But it does hide all the popping and slapping that she does a bit. I think that's a bit of a shame. I wish there was a bit more top as well on her bass tone, so you could hear all the popping and slapping stuff. But I get why they went for a bottom heavy sounding bass that would tie everything together. You got keyboard stuff going on there too. It never takes over. It's not like keyboard centric music. The keyboards serve the songs, and it works. So to me, as you can hear, I think this is an awesome album. I've heard people say it's the least memorable album. I've heard people say it's the best album. I can't speak to either point of view because I'm not familiar enough with the rest of their output. But this album on its own, to me, is fantastic. It's amazing. I gotta be honest, to me, Lovebites, they seem like they are the future of power metal. It's a genre that I grew tired of. It grew stale to me, especially the European variety, because it ended up just being mommy daddy drumming and just, picking like that without any sort of riff or anything going on. The vocals became very generic. It became very keyboard centric. It became very, happy-go-lucky stuff. Very far removed from early Blind Guardian and early Halloween. I love that stuff. That's the kind of power metal that I like. And Lovebites, they seem to pick up on that type of power metal and throw in a lot of thrash stuff and lots of traditional heavy metal. So to me, this is the future of power metal. I mean, just within my universe, as it were. It's epic. It has the Schlager feel, but it's aggressive. It's memorable to me. It has just the right amount of power metal cheese. That's another thing I don't like about most other power metal, is it's very cheesy. These ladies have just the right amount of power metal cheese. So if power metal were a pizza, typical power metal, that's like a soggy, disgusting Domino's or Pizza Hut pizza. Lovebites, that's like a crispy pizza from some local, genuine Italian pizza place, just with some, rich smoked ham on it, perhaps fresh tomatoes, some high quality local cheese. You know what I mean, right? So this is a fantastic power metal album to me. Really great stuff. So I think fans of Iron Maiden, fans of Halloween, fans of Blind Guardian's early stuff, fans of traditional heavy metal, fans of US power metal, fans of melodic thrash metal, fans of symphonic metal, fans of shredding. There's so much stuff for all sorts of different fans of metal in this one. I think it will appeal to lots of fans of lots of different styles of metal. Fans of female fronted metal should check this out too, because they're an all ladies band, of course. This is just a great album. Thanks for watching.